And we're back. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Dark Phoenix Gaming, and welcome back to The Legend of Heroes Trails in the Sky. Last time we left off, the mayor's mansion was robbed. And that special jewel or whatever that we got him from the mines was taken, along with other things. I'm currently here with our mentor Sherazard, investigating the place. And I'm gonna be honest, I almost wasn't able to record for this session because the game was acting up. It both didn't want to detect my controller and didn't want to give me audio, and I do not know why. I had to switch over to using the DX9 executable and also reinstall the game to get it working. Though honestly, I should have switched to the DX9 before, because I suspect the reinstall was entirely pointless. But hey, that happens sometimes. I've been gaming on PC for almost a decade, and sometimes it seems like problems you get happen for literally no reason. I'm used to it at this point. Trust me, as far as technical issues go, this is rookie numbers. But enough about that, we need to investigate. And we will start with the open chest. This is just a clutter box, right? It's empty as well. The box lock looks like it was burned off. Criminals may have used an orbital gun. Huh. A gun, huh? Interesting. It's just like the mayor to have a ton of difficult books like this. Looks like he's got some valuable antique books here as well. The criminals either had no idea about the value of the books, or they were here for something specific. And books weren't on that list. Yes, that's what I was thinking. This place is all torn apart. Lita would probably faint if she saw this. Looks like all the books on the shelf have been scattered about the room. It's kind of it seems kind of senseless to have done all this. God, seems like I can't talk sometimes. Let's see. And the chest where the jewel was being kept. The gift that we delivered to the mayor for the queen is... These crooks are not going to get away with this. Doesn't look like they jimmied the door either. They must have decrypted the combination and opened it, or... They really have cracked the combination? It's not impossible, but I imagine that it'd be difficult for anyone besides a skilled pro. My best guess is that they figured out the combination using a much simpler means. What do you mean by simpler means? Well, let's see. They could have, for example, dusted the buttons with a special powder. A powder like that would have absorptive properties, and due to its finesse, it would be invisible to the naked eye. Or if a blue light were placed over it, it would glow. Alright, and... Now let's imagine for a minute that the mayor entered the combination with the powder present. The powder on the buttons would stick to his fingers and come off, meaning they'd be able to tell what the combination is just by looking at it. This would be one way to know which buttons were pressed. Wait a minute, wouldn't they still not know the order in which the buttons were pressed? Sure, but it would make guessing the order a lot easier, since that would be like 4 or 5 combinations as opposed to hundreds or thousands. It's not exactly the case. As the powder collected on the fingers increased, the amount taken from the buttons would decrease. In other words, the crooks could press the buttons in order, starting from the least luminescent. Might be a little more difficult if there were duplicate numbers, but the crooks should be able to make a pretty good guess as to what they are. That makes sense. Joshua, are you a genius or something? That's just basic knowledge. Anyway, let's check out the buttons. Just as I thought, powder was used. There's no doubt in my mind that this safe was opened using the same method I just explained. Oh, right. Well, the big question is, who dusted the buttons with that powder? Now it would have to at least be someone who visited the residence. Right, now figuring out who that is, that's going to be the tricky part. Yeah, so it's at least somewhat an inside job. We know that. But beyond the fact it has to be a visitor, or someone who knows the place, we don't really got much. And we already heard the thing about the books. Anyways, we have to look around a little bit and ask people questions. Are you alright, ma'am? Yes, I'm fine. The intruders weren't violent towards us. Is there anything you noticed in particular about the intruders? They were wearing masks, so I wouldn't be able to tell you about any specific features. That reminds me, I'm certain the front door was locked. I locked the door just to be safe since my husband had gone to the chapel and there were just the two of us here. I wonder how in the world they got in. Lockpicks, one would imagine? That's the obvious response anyways. It'd be lockpicks. I had such a scare. I was cleaning up the attic when suddenly a bunch of masked men came barging in. Masked men, huh? That means it wasn't a one-man job? How many people were in the group? I'd probably guess about 3 or 4. Oh, that reminds me, one of them was short. Might have even been a girl. Huh. Short? Possibly one of them was a lady. That might be helpful, I'm not sure. And, wait, is that a leaf? Huh? What's this? Savase leaf. Do you think it's a bit strange for a leaf to be in a place like this? Yeah, that is a bit odd. On top of that, it's not a type that grows around here. You're sharp, Estelle. This is the place where the residents were locked up. It was probably dropped by one of the criminals as they were locking everybody up. Oh, it's a key piece of material evidence, right? Yep, it would be. Anything down here? I'm just having a check around their rooms again, just to make sure I didn't miss anything. Doesn't look like I did. We already got that text, so I'm not going to read it again. Wait, there's something here. Look, there's some marks on this railing. You're right, and they're fresh too. Looks like something metal dug into the wood. Well, isn't that interesting? I think that's probably everything we're gonna find, so let's head on down. See if Sherazard and the mayor have anything for us. Are you really done investigating? It seems a little too quick to me. How about looking around a little more carefully? Okay, I guess we haven't got anything. Haven't got everything, rather. They said the door was locked at the time of the burglary, right? Doesn't look like the lock's been broken either. which means they got in another way. Okay. This? Maybe? Something metal and strong enough to leave marks, huh? It's like something worth jotting down in our bracer notebooks. Those bookshelves are giving us the same exact thing here. And yeah. Wait, what's this? There are several documents inside the drawer. They don't appear to have been disturbed. They seem to be documents regarding Roland City's government. The fact that these are as they are suggests that there was no political aim involved. That is interesting. So it wasn't about messing with the government or anything. Eh? This pot's been tipped over, but there's nothing inside. Looks like it only tipped over after being hit by something with force. We already did that, so... I'm not seeing anything else up there. Nothing new from you. And they took off with a bunch of preserved food, apparently. Huh. Curious. That is interesting, and not something I'd expect. I had the mayor run me through all the details. You two, did you find anything? Yep, we found loads of new evidence. Alright then, let's check the details one by one and see what you've come up with. First off, what were the criminals after? Let's see. The septum in the safe. How many of them were there? There's a group of 3 or 4. Where did they get into the house from? From the terrace on the 2nd floor. Blank, what is the portrait of those thought to have committed the crime? A traveler who visited recently sounds most likely. If I was to get in on it, honestly. Wow, you did a good job investigating. It's like we'll be able to specify who the criminals are with this information. Mayor Klaus, over the past 2 or 3 days, have you had any new faces in your study? When you put it that way, I guess there's been a number of people. A reporter from the magazine company was one. Oh, so those 2 came to visit you too, huh? At the time of the crime, they were with us at the Esmelis Tower. I think we can cross them off the list of suspects. I see. So, Mayor Klaus, were there any others? Other than that, there was only Josette. Haha, let's not kid ourselves here. I think it'd be a bit of a stretch for her to be our thief. Well, she's a student at the Royal Academy. Criminals aren't always dressed so they can be easily spotted. As for a school uniform, and someone put their mind to it, they could create a replica. I'm telling you, she was a really nice girl. She was modest and courteous. Right, Joshua? Well, it could have been an act. People lie, you know, Estelle. Shocking as that may be. I'm sorry to say this, but I completely disagree. Sounds like Joshua's on board with me for more reasons than I thought. Huh? During that time, when the mayor put the septum into the safe, that girl's eyes lit up like a hunter's eyeing her prey. Of course, since I had no conclusive evidence, I couldn't call her out on it. But at least to me, she didn't look like any ordinary student. You must be joking. Unbelievable. At any rate, it looks like we're going to have to ask this girl a few questions. You wouldn't happen to know where she is, would you? If I remember right, she should be staying at the hotel. She said something about taking off from Relent sometime today. Well, looks like we're going to have to hurry then. Still, Joshua, let's try the hotel first. Right. Understood. Okay. Looks like we're heading out. And I gotta be honest, that girl is not who I had pictured. When it comes to something like this. I would not have seen her as the criminal. But a suspect, sure, but not an actual criminal. That was a bit unexpected. Hey, Estelle, Joshua, and even Sherazard. Something the matter? Do you remember a girl named Josette? She's a student from the Royal Academy who should be staying here. Of course I remember her, but he checked out just a moment ago. Shoot, we're a minute too late. Let's hurry to the landing port. We might be able to catch her there. You really didn't seem like a bad girl. Huh? Don't worry about it. Estelle's idle commentary is gonna get us into trouble one of these days, though, I swear. Please excuse the delay. The airliner should be arriving any time now, so be patient. Yo, Alan, it's us if you haven't noticed. Oh, it's you guys. Oh, and Sherazard too. Thank you, Idios, for this feast of the eyes. So, what's up? Didn't by chance happen to see a girl in a school uniform around here, did you? Girl in a school uniform? School uniform from where? From the Genis Royal Academy. Oh, baby, those uniforms are so hot. Contrast to those neatly plaited white skirts and navy blue socks. Focus, please. Yes, I can see them now. I totally forgot what the boys' uniforms look like, though. This is one obsession I just don't get. Thus defineth man's eternal struggle. Back on topic here. So you didn't see a girl in a Royal Academy uniform? Nope, not this month, and believe me, I watch for those. Check all the passengers boarding and disembarking so I can tell you at least that she hasn't come here. Which means that she came to Relent along the roads without using an airliner. This complicates things. Our search field suddenly got much bigger. To think of it, there must be others, so they've got to be hiding somewhere. Wait, that reminds me. What does, Estelle? Oh, you mean the leaf? I almost forgot that we found this. Could this be some sort of clue? Oh right, we did find that. Shara, do you know of any places nearby where Cervace trees grow? Cervace trees, huh? Pretty sure they grow in Mistwald, south of Relent. Mistwald, that's the forest in the opposite direction from home is Relent, right? Seems like it's worth looking into. That settles it. Let's hit up the hideaway through Relent's south gate. You're really excited, aren't you? Well, whatever it is, good luck. Thanks, I guess. Anyways, off we get. Wait up, you're running like a crazed lunatic. Who can just walk at a time like this? Oh, it's these two. Maybe I should think about cutting back on those blasted cigarettes. What are the two of you up to? You kids again, huh?